I'm thinking these plants might get some water before this segment's all said and done today. Mother Nature on our sides.
Well, it worked out well. It's a bit of a treat. You know, but the colors in the darker weather show up more beautifully. I think they're more intense, and so that's always a good thing.
They sure do. We're going to talk heat-loving plants, perfect plants for the summer season today, yeah?
We are, because, you know, we had a cycle change in weather from a very cool, wet spring, and now we're getting the intense heat, and people think, well, gosh, it's going to be too much to look after, and so on. And I really am so proud to be able to show that there's a whole range of plants that can go out in the patio, can go in containers, can go out in a larger garden, and just love the heat of summer and give you a wonderful performance. I mean, it's all about, this is the only time of year that we have to be able to go out in the garden and enjoy that color, and it makes a difference. It really does.
Steve's loving what he's seeing already. I see the pans over here. What do we have?
But you know, the biggest change, I would have to say, is the introduction of foliage. And you look at these new coleus today, and we're learning how to combine things beautifully, but you know, that is strictly sun-loving, sun-tolerant, heat-loving, drought-tolerant. Once they get established, they'll go in the shade as well.
What does drought-tolerant mean? How many times are you watering?
You know,
if it's out there
I'm glad you asked that question, because it means once it's established, you can't just put it out right now. Once it's established and growing, and it gets its roots out, it doesn't need as much water. And in other words, you'll take the hot sun without wilting and being a problem. And that's a big thing for people who leave early in the morning and are not there for the heat of the day to be able to enjoy it. So that drought tolerance is absolutely huge.
So once a day, twice a day, you're good with water?
I would say good watering once a day, once they're established, is all you need to do in those times. But if you look at the beautiful Canna Lilies over here, look at that remarkable foliage over here, Praetoria and Tropicana, this beautiful burgundy bronze. You don't, and even though they flower with an amazing flower head, a beautiful bright orange and red, the moment you put it in the ground, you've got that color. You don't have to wait. And we live in a society that doesn't want to wait today, which is kind of cool. This is becoming the most popular thing, the red bananas. It's an Insect Morelli, which is absolutely fabulous. And I have to say that some of the new cordylines, the Dracaena palms, we always use the green ones. Why? We've got so many unique and wonderful colors that just pop the garden and make it look amazing. Purple fountain grass, I have to say, the most important grass we have. Two reasons. You've got that wonderful rich foliage, which makes a nice contrast, but every time as we get a bit of a breeze right now, you see those wonderful feather plumes just dancing in the wind, which is absolutely cool. And we're going a little more tropical. Look at the colocaceas and alocaceas. These are big tropical plants, and they have motion in the garden as well, but for contrasting hot colors around them, it just turns your head. That's the beautiful thing about them.
The choice of container when it comes to these, especially if they're sitting out on the patio, what do we need to keep in mind?
Good point. Try and color match if you can. I think the most important thing is whatever color scheme you have in your patio, make sure that you choose plants and foliage color, and then of course the container should match that as well. That is very, very important. And I do have to say, with all things, that wicker look is very much coming back and is very, very strong today, which is kind of important too.
We have about 90 seconds, and there's so many great colors to play with.
I do want to say that, speaking of the tropics, the bougainvillea, we have new varieties in lower mainland British Columbia, like this particular bougainvillea from Italy. They do better in the northern hemisphere. They flower all summer long in your garden, and that's a tropical color we need. It just bounces, you know, in terms, isn't it nice? And kind of cool things. This is from Australia. This is the Kangaroo Pause. Keep going and going and going all summer long, and it's a different type of look which we're creating. Can't say enough about succulents over here. All the wonderful echivarius we have over here, the hardy sempervivens, and of course, you know, all these unique and different colored varieties. The Aeonium Schwarzkopf here is absolutely beautiful. And as I said to you earlier, I think we've been a little bit selfish in terms of it's not just about us. It's about the wonderful pollinators we have and providing in a small space garden nectar and pollen. We have agastaches over here, which are wonderful in terms of attracting bees constantly over the summertime. The wonderful Spanish lavenders that keep attracting honeybees, which are so great. The Achillea, and of course the new Echinvecias. If you put these together, not only have you got beautiful color and drought tolerance and heat loving, you have an entertainment center where the bees and butterflies are constantly coming to your garden, which I think is so very, very important. And you know, in more traditional terms, we have new zinnias that are more compact. We have bidens. We have the annual varieties of Rudbeckias, and also the whoppers, the begonias that love the sun. And then there's some real treats. Look at these beautiful dahlias, and you know, so many colors. They love the heat of summertime, and you know, some of them are very large or spectacular. They are showpieces, and just such a nice array of color.
Excellent. Always great. Mintergardening.com, that's the site. You are the master when it comes to this. Thank you very much.
Riaz.
Plenty of options for the garden and the patio. Listen, we'll take a break. We'll talk weather and see what's up with these sprinkles with Russell Kate coming up shortly.